Going live, but are we live? I'm live. Hey there, friendlies. How's up? Welcome to the first regularly scheduled live stream since I went out west. And I'm glad to be back. It is the 3rd of September. I got me some beer. I got some stuff to talk about. And I'm wondering if you guys are interested in hanging out and doing some of the talking with me. So let's get started, shall we? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is a little housekeeping. I'm wearing my LT Survival t-shirt. I'm representing. I like to represent fellow channels as much as I can, if I can afford their t-shirts. It's funny. No, it's not funny. It's kind of funny. I'm just sort of getting back into the swing of being home. Like today was the day after Labor Day, so it was back to school. The missus has now gone back to work. Today was her first day. So I've transitioned into being the one who's on parental leave for the next few months. Hamza, comment va, man? Ça fait longtemps. Simon, pareil, comment va? So now I'm on parental leave, so I'll be taking care of this week until the end of December. Today was my first day at it, as I said, so I didn't actually get a whole lot done. I got, kid to school and everything, and with lunch and all that, but I was planning to do all kinds of things around the house. I got a couple of little things that I have to build, stuff like that, but Mais c'est vrai, tout le monde ici sont comme francophones. Pour l'instant. Ça va changer, les gars. Mais à part ça, qu'est-ce qui se passe? Hey, Dr. Sharp's here. How's it going? What's everyone done since I disappeared into the West to play some music and visit my dad and then play another wedding gig out of the province? How's everyone's summer been? Man, it feels like it's been like months. I know it's only been about 3 weeks. Maybe it's been a month. I've been letting the team down. Le 15 septembre. Whoa, someone's switching jobs. Hiked part of the Ozark Trail. Man, I've never hiked that trail. I've never even seen it. I'd like to check it out at some point. Simon, you switching to what are you switching? Well, I don't know. You probably don't want to talk about that online, but I mean, congratulations. Upward and onward, I guess. This desk is an utter mess. I have things. I have my usual things, my live stream things, an axe, a knife, a beer. But there's a lot of stuff on this table. You know what I missed while I was away? This baby right here. I missed my kids. When I was out there playing in Alberta, man, I missed my kids something fierce. I missed my family, missed the missus. But I miss this axe especially when I go to a place that's all gorgeous mountains and trees. And it's like Bushcraft Wonderland, Oh, well. Hey, how's the sound, by the way? Am I coming through loud and clear? Sorry, I just got to tie up the collar here. I noticed that the thong had come undone. Telecommuting, nice. Yes, Dr. Sharp, I would love to see those pictures. Do you have my email address? I keep putting it up, but I'm not sure if everyone's got it. I've been keeping up. By the way, Hamza, I think it was your wedding anniversary recently. I saw that on Instagram. I saw pictures of you getting married to your wife back in the day, so congratulations. I wonder if it's time to open the beer. No, let's wait for let's wait for a nice round 6 people to be online. What the hell? We don't use spray sunscreen. I don't know what this is doing in my head. Don't use spray sunscreen. Simone, you'll be pleased to know that this EDC flashlight that I bought on your recommendation has seen a lot of use. First of all, when I was in Alberta at the festival, because it's a campsite, once the sun goes down, the only light is like there's a campfire there, there's a campfire there, there's a campfire there. Serge isn't coming on. Okay. Wait a minute. Serge had a rough first day back at work. Whoa. That's great news. I love it. Serge starts a job just as I get my schedule opened up. We could have gone and hit the forest during the day at some point. Oh well. Oh well. It's okay. It's all right. Six years, man, Hamza. That's fabulous. That's great. I love it. I love that kind of stuff. Dr. Sharp, I'll just put my email address up here again, just in case. Because yeah, I'd love to see those pictures. Man, you should see, like, everywhere I went, like Alberta, BC. That you guys have seen my well, you guys, I hope, have seen my videos from the Bruce Peninsula, and even just this past weekend when I was playing a wedding in Ontario. All very, very different. Excuse me, I'm so wrecked. First day of being a full-time dad is exhausting, guys. Each area is significantly different. And especially because the part of BC I was in, as I think I put up a hike video from BC. It's not like the cliched idea of what BC is, right? It's not a lush rainforest and the ocean waves or anything. It's in the interior, in the extreme south. Like, you can essentially spit on the United States from Penticton. Not quite. You have to drive down to Osoyoos for that, or Oliver, but it's arid. It's a desert. The only two deserts in Canada are that one and the one in Alberta around the Badlands. But it's just like, when you see that many different biomes, I guess, in a month, it throws it right in your face just how variable, just how wide the gamut of landscape is when your country is like 5,000 kilometers wide. It's like there is no quintessential Canada. Quintessential Canada is one of those irritating murals that you see on every like train station or airport or government building or arts council or whatever, that start with the waves crashing on the rock in Newfoundland, hit the the Charlevoix, go flat for a while, hit the Rockies and the Coast Mountains, and there's Vancouver Island, and then up at the top you got ice. That's quintessential Canada. It's all of that, and you got two little deserts in the middle there. Beechwood good for axe handle. Is it a hardwood? Hey, Robin, and by the way, I'm with Robin. Beech might transfer too much shock. The two best woods, in my opinion, okay, excuse me, in my opinion, the two best. Obviously, at the top of the heap is hickory, but it's getting expensive. Right below that, I put ash. Some people put like oak right up there as well. I've never ever felt an oak axe handle, so I don't know. But you know, so long as the wood is hard but dampens vibrations, it'll be okay. I think I may have even seen an elm used, but I'm not sure about that. I wouldn't go to the mats on that over that one. Excuse me. I also think that a lot of the stuff we talk about when it comes to wood matters more with a longer axe handle. You know, it's like, you know, we talk about that whole don't let your heartwood and sapwood meet in an axe handle. This one has that. See right there? But with this length, I don't think it makes that big a difference. I also kind of feel that with this length or like shorter, you know, especially down around that 10-inch, but at this length, maybe it's not as important about the shock transmission. Maybe. I know at this length, heartwood, sapwood, I don't think makes this big a difference. I don't think, you know, the direction of the grain makes as big a difference at this at this length. It's when you get to big axes where you're swinging a lot of motion once you get out to the axe head, and there's a lot of flex happening in the handle. There's a lot of shock being transmitted up that handle. You know, like maybe even Scandinavian axe length, mauls especially. You know, I feel that all the stuff we talk about gets much more important at that kind of length, and it's you know, down around the boys axe or shorter, maybe not. I would be pleased to have that conversation if someone you know, massively disagrees with me. Beach is fine but hard. Well, but there's the thing. What Simon says is also true. Look, if the wood is available, try it out. You know. Hey, Dennis, I'm glad to hear from you. I feel that, you know, because you and I went away the same week and didn't do our live streams. I feel that we put a dent in the face of YouTube for the time that we were both gone. I felt guilty about it, man. I felt guilty. We shouldn't be allowed to be away at the same time. We don't know what kind of damage we're doing to YouTube. I was also thinking about you because I just watched. I've recently discovered that the Happy Camper has a YouTube channel. So I've been watching him because I knew about the books, but I've never watched him. And because I was gonna, you know, drop you a note and pick your brain about paddle lengths, but he did a really good video on paddle length. And I was just wondering if you ever watch him, because he's a canoe guy as well. He got a lot of canoes, and he's kind of exclusively a Novacraft guy. And I had forgotten about Novacraft until I watched his videos. But I mean, that's a pretty seminal brand, you know. Zach Fudge, hey, Purple Heart, really, man. How big a handle? That sounds expensive. Isn't Purple Heart kind of a pricey wood? Oh, Doctor, you've sent me some photos. Okay, I'll take a look. Hey, I'm with Simone. Dennis, you're not live. You didn't live stream tonight? Yeah, Purple Heart is rough on the tools. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, we've lost two viewers. What's going on, guys? What is going on? Stop leaving. I want to open this beer. Okay, who's got beer? Who got beer? Nobody? Nobody has the beer? Well, here's what I got. I brought this back from the gig I played in Ontario. Cause and effect. It's a blonde, but I'm going to give it a try anyway. Unfiltered, a miracle of science, brewed by Nickelbrook Brewing Company of Burlington, Ontario. As I said, it's a blonde, handcrafted, 473 ml. Oh, it's only 4.7%. 19 IBU, so not too IPA-y, not too bitter. I am looking forward to giving it a try. Craft brewed in small batches. A relationship between a set of factors in the cause. The resulting causal nexus of these factors leads to a phenomenon, which is the effect. In the case of our Nickelbrook cause and effect blonde, it's the dynamic combination of malts balanced with bright hoppiness, which create a remarkably flavorful yet easy drinking blonde ale. Discover the phenomenon today. No additives, no preservatives, just science. Ingredients: water, malted barley, hops, and yeast. I think I could do that. Yes, it's a can. Sorry, folks. Serge isn't watching, though, so it's not going to harm anybody's feelings. Excuse me, guys. Let's see if I can do this without wrecking it with a massive head here. That's blonde, all right. I'm salivating here. Please note I'm using the Tobermory glass that I got from the Bruce Peninsula. Since my daughter broke my favorite Saranac glass, this has taken its place. I hope it will not take that glass's place on the kitchen floor. All right, so let's give this a try. Okay, there's the hop. But it's like it pulled the punch. It's like I felt the hops coming, but then they just sort of turned the punch into just a little tap on the cheek. So I'm okay. I'm definitely getting the malt, which is good. Because as you guys know, I like malt, not hop. Robin's got rum. Nice. Dr. Sharp's doing the whiskey. What are you doing? What are you doing specifically there, Dr. Sharp? Zach drinking some Lagavulin 16. The Lag was my my gateway whiskey for sure. I think it is for a lot of people. Hams is having tea. I also have tea for later because tea is my favorite drink of all time. And what? Oh, and a Schweppes tonic water. Okay. Simo. I feel that Lagavulin is many people's gateway into the Scotch world. I don't have a bottle of it right now, but I have other things, including, there's a funny story. When I went to Alberta, I was playing a festival gig, so I had a bunch of money. So I bought a $200 bottle of scotch, and then my camera broke. So I was suddenly not flush with money at all. But I'd already bought the damn scotch. I haven't opened it yet. I'm waiting for a special occasion because this logo is something I buy every few years for two reasons. First of all, they're expensive and second, once this bottle is gone, this is bottle 1 of 272. No, where it's 1 of 272 bottles made of this salt and vinegar kelp. And they ain't making any more. So every time you pick up one of these bottles, if you don't buy like 2 of them at once, which you can't do, they're gone when they're gone. But yeah, I was like, wow, yeah, man, I got some money. Bing, camera goes down. Crap. Kind of regret the the purchase, but it's done. It's done. Hey, outdoors here. Nice. Cutting the scotch with tears. Yes, I know. Another one that I like a lot of sort of a more production level is Lefroy. I like Lefroy a lot. I like Kalila. There's a bunch that I like, but I find that my my palate has sort of not moved past Lagavulin, but built on it. You know, crazy buffering on your end. Anyone else having buffering? Anyone? No buffering there? Okay. So it's got to be Outdoor Dauber's problem. Okay, sure. Rebooting? Right. Okay, see you soon. It's funny. The other day, not all of you saw, but the other day I did like an impromptu daytime live stream when I got back. And it took me like 3 or 4 tries. And I realized that it wasn't because the phone kept saying, you know, drop the signal, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh my God, stop. And I thought it was because my daughter was watching like Teen Titans Go on Netflix. So she was taking up the bandwidth. But no, this loaner phone, because as you guys probably know, my phone died on me right before I took that trip, crashes whenever I try to live stream using the YouTube app. So it was the phone that was crashing. So when I switched to the laptop, it worked. Quick story. Do not drink alcohol, religion? Yeah, I figured so. Once you drank 1.5 liters of vodka. That is beast mode, all right, Hamza. Holy crap. I'm glad you didn't die. Glenlivet, yeah, okay. I've had a bottle of that. I think I may have a bottle of that upstairs somewhere. So this weekend we were in this small town called Picton in Ontario. It's on Lake Ontario. It's not even a town. It's an unincorporated community. It's tiny. As I said in my Instagram post, it's so small that instead of a city hall or a town hall, it has a shire hall. And like the municipal area is a grand total of like 4,780 people. Like if everybody's home and nobody's traveling. It's sort of I guess it's the county seat of Prince Edward County in Ontario. Very picturesque, gorgeous houses. They're all like 600 grand, so I'm not moving there anytime soon. But the place where we played this wedding is called the 100 Acre Wood, okay? And it's a former farm, and they'd built one of the buildings into like a chapel, not to any specific religion, just like a chapel shape. And so it had your main chapel room, and then off to the side there was another room where they have their little bar and, you know, snacks and stuff. And on the outside wall of that little off room were 2 long, like panoramic windows, probably about this wide, but just a bit longer than you know, they're probably about 5-foot windows. And, you know, I'm walking around and I'm doing my stuff, and I walk past and I just glance at these 2 windows, and out just, Robin, you're going to know exactly where this feeling came from. Glanced out this window in this glorious, like, barnwood room is this field. Just, and it just goes. And it's like some wildflowers here. And then it's been, it was rented out to farmers, which were doing like cash crops or whatever, but it's laying fallow right now. And then off in the distance, there was like forest and like some small mountains. I say Robin because he and I have a very similar dream. If that was my building, I would have put a workbench along those two windows and a big wood-burning stove in the corner, and that would have been my workshop. But I'm wondering how much work I would have gotten done in between bouts of just staring at those windows like blissed out gosh wow on my face. I could have just stood there and stared at those windows for the whole damn day. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. Outdoor is still skipping and buffering. Are you using a phone or are you using your computer? No, it doesn't even count as a village. Well, it's unincorporated, right? Yeah, exactly. I'm with Dr. Sharp. 1.5 liters is painful. You were 3 days? Yeah, yikes. Buka? I don't even know what that is. I used to drink arak, but I haven't drunk arak in a long time. What the hell's a buka? I'm gonna look that up. Was it any good? Buka. It's a distilled beverage produced from figs. Really, it originated in Tunisia, where most of it is still produced. Its name means alcohol vapor in Judeo-Tunisian Arabic dialect. It is obtained by simple distillation of Mediterranean figs. Its alcohol percentage ranges between 36 and 40%. Interesting. Never even heard of it. Outdoor, that is unkind. It wouldn't take me 7 years to build the workbench. Buka warms you up. Yep. Oh, and it's pretty tasty, eh, Zach? Maybe I'll go and look for a bottle. Quebec is terrible for buying alcohol, though. It's awful. It's very good for buying port, though. I think, well, we used to be, I don't know if we still are, but it used to be that Quebec was the world's 4th largest market for port. But, for things like whiskey and beer and stuff, it's not quite as good. Okay, Robin, that's a good point. You got 2 batches of Nacina going? What is that? By the way, Rob, I almost bought another router, a replacement router yesterday. I'm very frustrated about the most of you have never been inside my house. In my daughter's room, there's a set of drawers built into one of the walls, and they're old. They're from 1951, and so the runners are starting to fall off, and there are some strips between the drawers on the front that are starting to fall out. So what I did yesterday, was it yesterday? I think yesterday, I cut a new front slip. It's got like a little, it has to be routed out in the back, and it's got a little sort of like a little tenon off one side. And so I tried to route out the strip along the back, and the same thing happened on that happened on the workbench we built. The depth stop on it gave out, and I ended up, anyway, whatever. I managed to save it because I lifted it off the piece, and I routed out enough to install it. But I'm serious that Redder's out of here. It's done. And it's too bad because it's a nice old tool, but it's not a nice tool. And it would cost me too much in terms of time and effort to fix whatever part has failed on it because it's very, very old. But I didn't buy another Redder because Redders are not like, buying a cheap drill. They're $300 or $600, So I didn't do it. Best vodka, in your humble opinion, is Tito's. I've never even heard of it. Nocino. Huh. That sounds good. What I'd like to make is bourbon vanilla. Like, you can make vanilla by just dropping a vanilla bean into bourbon. I guess you can do it with almost any alcohol, but bourbon seems to be a traditional alcohol for this. Because pure vanilla has alcohol in it because it is literally the bean or whatever, steeped in alcohol. Buffering, no buffering. You need a new phone. I also need a new phone because mine died on me. And this 5S, look, I'm very grateful to have been able to borrow this phone because it's kept me in contact with my family while I've been out of town. But the camera's garbage. It's got no space on it. So I'm very much looking forward to being able to buy a new phone, which I will not do right now because on September 10th, there's an Apple event, which will probably be when the new phones are shown. So maybe I'll be able to get like a XS or whatever the hell it's called for cheaper, This beer's not bad, actually. And there's a little sweetness at the back end of it. To make outdoor Dauber happy, This beer's not bad. The melange of cloves, rose petals, and just a touch of lavender really nicely accent and yet set off a brown sugar or maybe a little molasses. There's also a bouquet of, is that sumac? I think it's sumac, and maybe just a touch of like a Zinfandel. Yeah. But no, to be serious, it's not a bad beer. I would buy it again. It will not go down in history as one of my favorites by any stretch, but I don't dislike it, and I do like it. I just like it more mildly than I like things that are much darker generally. The thing is, Hamza, I'm not going to go for a Huawei because I'm stuck in the Apple ecosystem. I'm not happy about it, but I like the way it works. Simo retracted a message. Also, Huawei is, as Simo says, sensitive here. It's fine, Rob. I got, this is working. It's working, and I've seen the phone that you're using on the day-to-day. You may need that 6S soon. Wow, Dr. Sharp, that's a small town. Even up where my dad lives in Penticton, it's about 33,000 people, but just up the Kettle Valley Railroad, which is no longer a railroad, there's a town called Naramata, which is much smaller. It's one of those like no Starbucks, one general store kind of towns. Very picturesque. Very small. More vineyards than houses, it seems sometimes, Oh, you got a Moto E too? Okay. You make shrubs from peach, apple, cinnamon, and habanero with 2 cups of sugar? What the hell is shrubs? Unless you're saying, is that like schnapps or something? Zach, what you talking about? All right, Simone, still rocking a 6. Well, I was rocking an SE, which is a 6 and a 5 body, right? Or is it a 6S and a 5 body? I don't remember. Oh, outdoor was the wireless headphones that were causing the buffering. Interesting. Okay. Now that is interesting. It's funny the way things work or don't, eh? Serge should be here. Dried pineapple and rum? Yeah, that would give me a Christmas vibe too. Store, post office, school, and town hall together is better. Okay. You guys are just. You know what you guys are reminding me of? That Monty Python sketch. You know? We used to live in a hole in the ground. Hole in the ground. We used to dream of having an hole in the ground. We lived in a shoebox in the middle of the street. Shrubs are like a maple syrup with fruit cooked in a vacuum, then cut with vinegar. Zach, you gotta send me that. I want to try it. Oh. Simon, I just got your message. Okay. That's why he has to be up so early. Um, Now, when you say cooked in a vacuum, do you mean like in a sous vide kind of thing? Oh, a lot of people make it in Tunisia as well. I didn't know that. I just want to show you guys that I wasn't BSing about about the town being so small that it has a shire hall. Can you read that? Oh, no, you can't. Hold on. You're not gonna let me. You're not gonna focus, are you? Well, those of you who have access to my Instagram would see the picture because it says Shire Hall. Wait a minute. Is that better? Shire Hall. Because Shire is really, if I get it right, Shire is essentially a county, I think. Hamza retracted a message. Damn it. Wow, outdoor, that is a small community. I did not go to the Green Dragon Inn. Is that in Picton? Oh, Simon, you first day on the new job tomorrow. Okay, I didn't know you were that advanced in the job change. Okay. Hmm. Wow, you and Serge both same week, eh? Interesting. Oh, Zach. Okay. How did I miss that? Hey, you know what? Now that my daughter is 8, I'm thinking of one upped by Robin. Now I feel twice as dumb because man, you're both moving faster than I am tonight. Are you two really gonna have this argument? Outdoor, that sucks. Oh, I had so many things to tell you guys, but I can't remember any of it because it's been like a month since we live streamed. What the hell was I going to tell you guys about? I don't remember. Oh, man. Well, we were in Picton, though. We did accidentally go to an utter dive for supper one night. It was really weird because it had this real classy front room, like, tables with white cloths on and everything. So like, well, let's go and check it out. And we walked in, there was like no one there, but there was a small hall with 2 bathrooms, and then in the back was this like dive bar. And we walked through and we walked out onto the terrace, and like everyone sitting there was either a derelict or just a bro, and whatever the hell the female version of a bro is. So we sat down, we ordered food, we ordered beers that were terrible. They weren't terrible. It's just they didn't live up to the microbrew, the local microbrew character, And it's like, what do you have on tap? We got 50, we got Labatt Blue, we got like, I was gonna say Lowenbrow, but no, like Budweiser. It's the kind of bar that if you just cross the border, it's like, yeah, sure, man, we got PBR, we got Coors Light. Well, they had Coors Light. It's like, yeah, but what about microbrew? Well, in this can, we got this thing from blah, blah, blah. And we said, all right, we'll take the cream ale. And it wasn't creamy. On Untapped, I think I'd give it a 1.5. No, I think I might have given it a 2. Robin bows out. All right, Hamza, see you later. Have a good night. Yeah, send me those pictures. Firefox Lockwise for a good free password vault? Okay, good. My problem is that when my phone bit the dust, my password vault was on it. And so I am in password hell right now. See you next Tuesday, Hamza. Unibrow, yuck. No, outdoor, I forgot, but I will, because that the first song you sent me, I think it was very cool. And it's, man, when he was playing it, I was like, this has to be a traditional number. I couldn't believe that he'd written it. It's like, it's so authentic. What did I use? What did I use? Hold on. Let me look it up. I remember the logo. I don't remember the name. Just wait one second. Hold on. What's it called? What the hell was it called? It wasn't Dashlane. The hell was it called? Hold on. Wasn't Norton. What the hell is it called? Was it LastPass? No. Is that one that has the logo that's like a shield shape? Cut diagonally black and orange. The hell was it called? Was it Keeper? I don't think it was Keeper. It was not Keeper. I don't know. I don't remember. Hey, Austin's Corners here. How's it going? Maybe it was 1Password. I don't remember. Zach, that sounds highly secure. There ain't nothing wrong with PBR now. It's just a little mass market. Perhaps Blue Ribbon, Simo. But yeah, so the idea of having to start anew with a password vault again is like, especially because this is a temporary phone. I know I can just, clone it over or whatever, but I just, tattoo them to my palm or something. There's a YouTuber who loves his PBR. Who is that? Oh, it's Joe's Neon. He's always got a PBR on the go. He puts in a koozie and everything. I love that guy. I haven't watched that guy's video. The whole time I was gone, I wasn't watching anything, So I feel like I've got all this catch up to do, but I don't have any time. No time. And it's funny because I'm watching this little infant change before my very eyes. Because now that I'm around, when I was in Alberta, the missus would send me little videos and stuff. Look what you're missing, and I really did feel that I was missing a lot. But then when we spent 9 days at my dad's place, and Clem went from being one of those infants that you just drop them there and they don't move to crawling and now sort of grabbing onto things and standing up. It's amazing to watch. And I'd forgotten about how magical that is, because Camille's been older than that for, so long now. So I've been watching that rather than YouTube's lately, He grew up in Maine. He's familiar with that area. I bought the tickets tonight. Going to see him. Really nice. Yes, I said you told me that you were planning to check him out. If he ever comes north, I would definitely check him out. He's got a real easy kind of nice energy on stage too. If what I'm seeing on the YouTubes is true to the live experience, like the concert footage I'm seeing. I think you're going to have a fabulous time. I think that you're not going to regret those tickets. I have almost never regretted buying a concert ticket. I like almost any music live. It's not a feeling I have towards music recorded. There's a lot of stuff I just don't like recorded, but live I will meet it halfway, I mean, I have pretty eclectic tastes anyway, but like I've seen bands live that I would never buy a CD of, and I've loved this show. So when I say, man, you're going to love that show, I mean, there's just a magic to live music that doesn't exist on recorded, Speaking as someone who does live music from the other side, that has, I like that to be true. I know what you mean. There's a 14 to 17 year difference between yourself and your younger siblings. Wow. Wow. That is a difference. We thought 8 years was different. Well, technically 7 and a bit. 14 to 17 years difference? Woo! Oh, outdoor, that sounds amazing. That sounds fabulous. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen a show in a while. It's funny because the show that I keep seeing is ours. Like my live music experience these days is usually just being the one on stage. But wow, Zach, holy crap. Hmm. How is that to have, your first sibling at the age of 14? Must have been like, parents, what are you guys doing, man? Zach, I'm older than your parents are. But that's the thing, Outdoor, and I don't like mass production beer. Unless you're talking about like some of the British or Irish ones, like the Guinness or Smithwick's or something like that. There's almost no mass production North American beer that I will drink. Man, your parents are 41 and 42. So you're how old my daughter should be. Is Dennis still on? No, we're down to 5. Maybe Dennis is live streaming now. Let's check it out. Canoe Hound Adventures. No. I would classify the style as the same. $24 each sounds fabulous. No, 24 American. It's still. Yep. He's very good. You want to throw up a link so that people know who we're talking about? Outdoors, he pointed out a video of a song by Zach. Really, I was no good back then. 14. I don't. It's weird. At the risk of TMIing, I have no memory of my life at that age. I have no memory of anything before about 25. I just blocked it out. Dr. Sharp, you're probably right. So 100-degree Fahrenheit, is that what? What's that, like 40 degrees, right? Yeah, that's dank and hot. Zach. Yeah. Yeah, a lot has changed. A lot has changed. It's funny because whenever I introduce my channel to someone who has never seen me before, I always tell them pay no attention to pre 2018 Rain Dance, because that was the year where I finally, made the improvements that I felt I needed as a basis for my channel going forward. And I've still got some work to do, but it's much better than it was before January 1st or maybe December of 2017. It's hard to tell. When I got the camera, when I got the D80, it was sort of a part of a larger packet of changes I made to the channel. Kensington Beer Market glass, Kensington Wine Market glass, which is the place in Calgary I go to acquire things like this. It sounds all jet set, right? Yes, I go to Calgary to purchase scotch stuff. Yeah, yes, but it's not. I travel on buddy passes. Yeah, Doctor. I know a lot of people who feel about it the same way as you do, and I think that if I sort of like, if I stop being stubborn, I'm probably the same. Dark beers are my comfort zone. I In hot weather, I prefer something like, I'll never go to an IPA because I don't like them. I'll never go to like a cerveza, like Dos Esquis or Corona or anything like that, because I literally don't like them. But something like this, like a blonde ale, fine, because you're right. It's not as heavy. It doesn't taste as heavy. It doesn't sit in your mouth and in your gut, with quite the same rock solid weight as a Guinness can on a hot day. Yeah, outdoor. Toss up a toss up the link to that video you sent me, because that was really good. Yeah, I did see that. That's the cafe where he's playing, eh? Cafe and Ale Works. Nice logo. Events. So he's 13th of October. Way too far for me to get to. I tend to think of songs as the whiskey of writing, distilled down to the essence, powerful, concentrated, immediate. You can take it all in and really feel it in just seconds. It's funny because his approach to songwriting, like the characters and stuff, kind of reminds me of like Tom Waits in a way, because he writes about the same kind of people. Austin's Corner. I'm well, Austin. I'm on the first day of my parental leave, so I'm home with the kidlet, the squirt. No, not the squirt. Squirt started school today. The squeak. I'm home with the squeak. I'm wondering, how are you doing, Austin? How is up, as we say around here now? Yeah, Slade Cleaves. It's an interesting name. Oh, hold on, guys. Hey, Yadda, je vais faire tout ça après mon live stream, là. Oui, mais t'avais comme une journée de merde, là. Je peux le faire. Mais ok, pas de merde, là. Mais... Ouais. Ah, merci. C'est génial, toi. But yeah, it's. I'm really grateful to Outdoor for introducing me to that guy. I like people who write about the non-glamorous people. Oh no, actually, good eye, Dr. Sharp. It is. There's a, I don't know, axe throwing bar somewhere. BATL, serving only the finest cuts since 2006. Or it's a bar that had an axe throwing evening. One of the missus's friends had an event there. And I would like to frame the t-shirt and stick it up when I get my workshop done. I see that workshop in my head, you know? It was the missus's first day back at work after being on maternity leave for months and months and months. She does a very high octane job, so her head is full right now. So I told her that I would clean up after the supper that I made. I made a pretty good supper. Did a pork roast with my patented, not even really, with my usual honey mustard with maple syrup sauce. Crock pot, 5 hours on high, just so you know. Carrots, broccoli, celery, usually onions, but I didn't have any onions tonight. Damn it. Sear the outside of the roast first before putting it in the crock pot so it doesn't just go in the pot. That's the way you do it. Okay, all right, Dr. Sharp, I get it. I would love to one day know the story behind your handle, Dr. Sharp. William Faulkner and well-worn jeans with a guitar. Yeah, I like that. That's good. Today I heard an interview with Salman Rushdie. He was talking about he stayed for a weekend with Kurt Vonnegut and his wife back when he was a very new author, because Kurt Vonnegut had been very good to him, very, helping him, sort of introducing him to other authors and stuff. I don't know where this is coming. I never promised you a cookbook. I would love to put out a cookbook, though. Here's what I would love to do. Well, I would have loved to put out a Fallout cookbook, but someone's already done that. I haven't bought it yet. I would love to create a bushcraft cookbook. But not just bushcraft, like stuff you can cook on a campfire with or without like minimal tools, But the thing is, Townsend's is already doing that in a video format, and they're using 18th century cookbooks. I would love to do like a medieval recipes thing, but like 18th century recipes and medieval recipes are not the same as bushcraft or camping recipes. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though they cooked on fire, that doesn't mean that the recipes are easily transferable to a camp setting. And it's expensive to self-publish a book, you know? But I watch ancient recipe. Like anytime I see something about like an ancient recipe, but not just, here's an ancient recipe for quinoa and kale chips. No, I mean, like the BBC is interviewing a guy who reverse engineered an ancient Roman bread recipe based on a loaf that they found in Herculaneum or something. That kind of stuff I watch, man. I watch Townsend's. I'm enchanted by the way people cooked before the advent of electricity. I'm enchanted by just the measurements that they use. You use an egg-sized dollop of butter, whereas to any postmodern person would say, yeah, but wait, whoa, hold on. Is that a small egg or a large egg? They didn't care. Even recipes were done by feel for the most part. And just the ability to control fire, to heat up your oven, then scoop out the embers once the oven is hot enough that it will stay hot enough to cook an entire loaf of bread. And you know that because you've experienced that oven. You know that oven. That is fascinating to me. Fascinating. I would love to do a master's on that. Thing is, I would love to do a master's on a great many things, which is why I haven't done it yet. But I've been percolating on that for like 20 years. Have you seen Billy Riew's last book? No, I haven't seen any of his books. That guy's got such a good energy on YouTube. I want to support him, but I haven't seen any of his books. Cooking for the bush, there is a beaver joke there somewhere. Yes, there is. But I try to maintain a family-friendly atmosphere here on Rain Dance Bushcraft. Simo is doing us one better, I see. He cooks with a Finnish log stove? I started watching his stuff before I went away. I'll look him up again. I have not, by the way, Outdoor. Wow. Let's rework that sentence. By the way, Outdoor, I have never actually been to Maine. I would like to go to Maine. I know you can buy a lot of, antiques and axes and stuff in Maine. But I also know that Maine has some spectacular scenery. Hey, Rush Creek Survival's here. How's it going, man? Yeah, Dr. Sharp. The Swedish Torch. I have a Swedish Torch grill. It's called the MIDI 001. I did a video on it. It's not a very good video, but I did a video on it a couple of years ago. And it goes on top of one of those so that you can just put a pot on and you don't have to worry about anything getting wobbly. Billy Ryu is only 5 hours away. If he and I had any contact, I'd say, yo, Billy, I'm showing up tomorrow. But I think it would be really, really awkward and maybe scary for him if I just showed up and say, I know who you are. How's it going? And if Outdoor is only 9 hours away and he already knows us. Outdoor, if I ever show up at your place, it's with a camera and we're doing a YouTube episode. I just need you to know that. We'll do an episode about wood. You just traveled to Lab City? For business or pleasure? Business. Interesting. And money to go antique shopping, yeah. He's between Rivière-du-Loup and Rimouski. Okay. That's doable. If I had spoken to him beforehand. Cooks hanging in the holiday center, heat from all around. Yeah, that would actually, I'd never thought of that, but that would work, Dr. Sharp. I believe I hear my baby has awoken and the missus is running up to put her back to sleep. That baby is exhausting. Last night, she woke up 4 times between 1 a.m. and 2:15 a.m. And the last time I gave up, so the missus walked in and dealt with it. Outdoor. You're hanging out with Cole Cracker again? I would love to hang with that guy. I would love to hang out with him. I think he comes across as the kind of guy I would really enjoy just chatting with for an afternoon. I think that would be. I'm dying to get another YouTuber on my in front of my camera, you know? Like I don't know. Like interview someone if it's not a full on, collab. The baby is sleeping in another room. What's happening right now is I'm getting up to go because if she smells her mom, then she's going to expect to be fed. Not to put too fine a point on it. And we're trying to taper that off because the missus does not work in the kind of environment where you can readily pump milk. So we're trying to sort of taper it off. So I get up, as much as I possibly can. But at a certain point, the baby is not looking for me. And so I can't get her back to sleep kind of thing. And so the missus will walk in and, hug her and take her to bed and sort of stroke her forehead until she falls asleep. But yeah. So yeah, I wanted to get back to Rush Creek Survival's cool trip to Lab City. Tell us about it, man. What were the? I'm saying, man. I don't mean specifically you are a male. I mean, I just say man as a. I use man almost as a full stop. As a period. I'm not making any judgments about your gender. Because as I've said before, I cannot just click on your channel while I'm actually running the live stream. So I can't double check. But yeah. Any standouts? What was the coolest thing about that trip? My brother was just up in Nunavut, which is a place I would love to see. I need to see the north. I really do. I want to very badly. I don't know if I want to see it in February, but I might be okay with seeing it in like April or May, right before, if I don't have the schedule mixed up, like right before the black flies, the mosquitoes swarm. I want to see the north. As Canucks, we sell this concept of us being the true north, strong and free, but most of us live within like 100 miles of the U.S. border. The north is very empty, so I want to see it. But there's a lot of things I want to see. I want to see Iceland. I want to see Sweden. I want to see Morocco. I want to see South Africa. I want to sit on the Serengeti. I ain't seen any of that either. And with fewer days ahead than there were behind, I don't know if I'll get to see all the stuff I want to see. Whoa. Okay. Like a million things. Like it looks like I missed half the conversation because it's just. Okay, hold on. Well, I'm male, good trip, moose and bear and waterfalls. Fellow Canadian, yeah, that would Churchill Falls. Nunavut is nice. I've never been there. I've never even been to northern Quebec. You say bye. Yeah, of course you do, Zach. Moving there in October, nice. General Luke from okay, General Banter. Okay, all becomes clear. Well, outdoors, she's not necessarily wrong, but even the North Pole is currently moving towards Russia, so we can't necessarily claim that for much longer. Austin's having trouble with the internet. Sorry to hear it. I don't think I'm that far from you outdoor. I don't think it's a very long drive. I've never thought about driving that way because to me, when we're going to the States, it's always down to New York, right? It's always down to Long Island. Spend our days in Manhattan. Like I've driven to Boston. It's not as bad, but I don't have a real sense of just how long a drive other states are. Like Maine should technically not be that far, but I don't really know that. I think I should be able to just cross the border. I mean, drive to the eastern townships out towards New Brunswick and cross the border into Maine. But I have no idea how many hours that is. It might be a 10-hour drive. In fact, it probably is. Santa is going to be risky. Yes. Yeah, but Dr. Sharp, it's also move like yes, like when it flips, but it's also migrating towards northern Russia. There are major outages on the eastern coast net right now. That's interesting to know. Okay, Austin, what exciting news? Tell us about it. Oh, Robin would know because he had to do a lot of driving through the states for in a previous job. Zach, are you still drinking the Lagavulin 16 there? Because I wanted to ask you if you'd had Lafroig before. Because I think if you like the Lagavulin, Lafroig, I think is sort of the next logical step. It's not as old, but it's a real nice taste. It sort of hits the mouth a little differently than the lag. Moat Mountain Brewery, true. Just moved to an area with large Amish communities. I found some leather crafters and canvas upholstery shops, and you're planning on having some things made. Oh, Austin. Massachusetts is pretty close. Dr. Sharp, interesting. So you're not a medical doctor then? I've been trying to figure out your username for months now. I will figure it out. Yeah, she's made for the SFA. Nice. Yeah, I figured these guys were mostly saddle makers or something. Well, maybe not saddle makers, but like horse-drawn carriage kind of, more wagon kind of equipment, belts and straps and stuff. I originally thought that doctor and sharp meant you were in the medical field giving either vaccines or like you're an anesthesiologist or something, but I think I'm wrong about that. Wisconsin. I used to know a girl who lived for a while in Wisconsin. Hold on. Oh, shoot. Yes. Classic Laddie. Okay. I have a Classic Octomore upstairs that I can't get here. It's another one that came from Alberta. Let me just. Tabernouche. Hold on. Sorry, guys. That was a light version of the worst possible French Quebecois swear word. I sort of forget that I'm speaking to a bunch of Anglos. Brichladig. Zach. Boom. I say boom. Hold on. Lots of Amish and Mennonites there. Same here. Got a question. Is Lafarge French? And if so, what does it mean? It's the name of the town we're renting in at the moment. Yes. But here's the thing with a lot of those French town names, it's a historical version of French, right? So it could be La Forge for all I know, right? And spelled a different. Like the name Francois is the historical way of writing French in French, Français in French. You know, like there's a lot of French went through some of the same vowel changes as English did, not in the same way, but as languages evolve, they do things like that. So I don't know what the Farge would mean. Okay, Dr. Sharp. All right. Maybe I'll never know. I'll never know. Zach, check out that link I just popped up there to the Octomore. It is exquisite. It's exactly like it's peaty. It's oh. You know, it's funny because my palette has been changing. Because I used to be Pete, Pete, Pete. But it's also, you know, and then it was Pete, Smoky, Pete, Smoky Pete. And now, like when you add like a brininess or a saltiness in there, just at the top, I'm sold. I'm sold. Which is why I spent $200 on salt and vinegar kelp. I tasted it first. I can't wait to open this bottle. Regretting the purchase, though I do. A lot of French names in the state of Wisconsin. Many of the native reservations have French names. But bear in mind, we used to own lots of North America, right? Before there was like necessarily Canada, the people who are now called Canadians used to, like, you know, west of the Mississippi, You know, that wasn't. Anyways, there was the French and Indian War, and Des Moines. That's a French town. That's a French town. You know, Lac du Flambeau, Lac Courte Oreille. Courte Oreille is short ears. Wood pigeon. Bam, baby. I haven't heard from you in a long time because I've been away. My own fault. I know. But yeah, how's it going, man? Louisiana purchase. Yes, my mother enters with a salient point. Wood pigeon. The day goes well. This was my first day as a stay-at-home dad until December. I'm exhausted, but I did good. I didn't get everything done I wanted to because that's just how it works. But I did okay. I did okay. I really did want to have a lot more done, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to complain. Especially because the missus came back from her first day at work exhausted, and daughter number one came back from her first day at school exhausted. So my exhaustion was relatively light. You know, Austin. Up here, there's a people called the Métis, which is an ethnic group made up of essentially hybridization between French Canadian settlers and the natives. And yeah, there are French explorers all over, and the first thing they did was pair up with native nations to in their efforts to explore. And in the vast majority of this continent, they got there before the English ever did. Oh, you scored some obsidian. What are you going to do with it? And how big a piece? I was going to say something. I don't bloody remember it. The British gave natives French names and treated French descendants and natives like second class. Yeah, especially where you lived, Zach. Here where I lived, it was a really different story because, in fact, the reason the Parliament buildings got burnt down in Montreal and the capital got moved to Ottawa is because an angry mob of Englishmen burnt them down because of new legislation giving too many rights to the French Canadians. But out there was a whole different story. It was bad. Hold on. Just ball it and make stuff. Yeah, I had a good vacation. I did. Well, it was good. It's just it wasn't all really vacation because I spent the first week, playing shows in Alberta, which is work. Then I spent 9 days visiting my dad in British Columbia. Then I was back here for like 2 days, and then I was off for 2 nights essentially in Ontario playing a wedding. So it's been hectic and it's been busy, but yeah, it's been good. It's been good. And I don't think I've ever been in that many provinces in that short a time. Like within the past month, I've been to Ontario, then Alberta, then BC, then back to Quebec, and then Ontario, and then back to Quebec. That's funny. Let's see. You already made a point. Yeah, Obsidian's nice, man. Tyler, hey, how's it going, man? Welcome to the. I was gonna say welcome to the show. Shut up, Jesse. Welcome. I haven't spoken to you in a while, man. True, Austin. Very true. Hey, Vancouver does the same thing, Wood Pigeon. They had a couple of riots there. Yeah, Cornwallis is a problem. And how much was the U.S. gonna pay Denmark for Greenland? You were in an accident? Okay, everybody stop. I want to know what kind of accident Tyler was in. What the hell happened? And are you okay? Because I've been off. I've been essentially disconnected from YouTube for a month now because pretty much everywhere I was, the signal just wasn't either A, strong enough, or B, they didn't have enough data, enough bandwidth or whatever for me to keep up. So what the hell? Money for nothing, and your juice for free. You rolled the juice 5 times and were unconscious. How the hell? Anything broken? Back to the how the hell did that happen? Yeah, I wouldn't sell Greenland either. Come on. And the last thing I want is to have, no offense, but I don't want to have the U.S., and the U.S. there. I don't think it's good for any country to be completely surrounded by another country, no matter what, no matter how close the allies and blah, 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 or whatever. Wow. True thing, Rob. True thing. So Fash is an ancient spelling for forge. So there it is. It's the forge. Oh, did you fall asleep at the wheel? Fire water. Well, Tyler, I'm glad nothing got broken. I'm guessing the Jeep is a write-off. Little coma. Oh. Yikes. I needed the extra sleep. Sorry, I don't know why I misread that. Stupidness. There probably used to be a forge in the area. If the town's called La Forge. Wood pigeon. I haven't napped anything. I've never made an arrowhead. I've never made a knife. I would love to make the Ötzi kit. You know that knife, the flint knapped knife he had, and the copper axe and all that stuff. I would love to make that kit. I visualize that guy like I don't visualize many other. Look, I visualize everything. I went to art school. Okay, everything is bloody visual for me. But I see that guy because of where he was found. I see him knocking iron pyrite together to start a fire on like this not at the top of the mountain, but further down, like where the valleys are, and there's like a dusting of snow everywhere, and it's probably about 10 degrees. Like, it's the crisp feel of like the middle of fall when everything smells glorious and everything's just like changes in the air. Like you take in a cold breath and it's enough to excite you to get the juices flowing. And he's standing there partway up a mountain, snapping a fire into being, and he looks out across the valley below. It's all sort of grasslands with, snow just dusting everything. Whenever I say the word Ötzi, I think of that. That's just seared into my head. Nobody ever used the term bushcraft at that point. People lived it. If you didn't know how to live off of nothing, create a bed out of pine boughs, bring a fire into being with iron pyrite, which is way harder than flint and steel. I do. Excuse me. I do bushcraft for fun. To me, bushcraft is the joy of using primitive skills in a forest setting and letting that be part of my enjoyment of being in a primeval location. Bringing what I see as the ancient human character back to life as part of my enjoyment of being in an ancient setting. You look at a pine forest or whatever, and the progress hasn't happened, and evolution happens on much longer scales. There's no new design white pine that's mopping the floor with last year's model. There's none of that. What you have is like you snap a photo of a Douglas fir or a blue spruce or a white pine on a mountainside, and below it there's a crystal blue lake, and then there's a mountain and a blue sky. You can't date that photo unless there is a car or something in it. You can't date that photo. That landscape has been that landscape for thousands of years, possibly millennia, aside from the fact that the tree is not that old. And to me, being able to walk into that area and maybe cut down a standing deadwood tree, divide it up into firewood, maybe make a small lean-to, maybe just a bough bed, wrap up in a wool blanket. It's part of the connection, I feel, No, there's no Gore-Tex. I was about to say an F word. Might be the Scotch. But there's no Gore-Tex in that. There's no digital method for starting the fire. There's no new technology. I don't have a battery-operated stove. A piece of steel on a piece of rock into natural tinders. It's about joy for me. It's not about learning learning survival skills. I see survivalism as a very different preppers. It's related, and there's a lot, like in the Venn diagram, the two circles are very, but they're not the same thing. And I'm not a prepper. If the world ended tomorrow, I would be dead. I would be dead. I would rather not be, because then I don't know who the hell would watch over my girls. But I'm not a prepper. I'm not a survivalist. For me, it's about kind of one of the very few joys I actually still have. You know, I love the idea of using fire tools and equipment that isn't recognizably 21st century. Yes, the knife is a modern design, fine, because I don't like Bowie knives. Or maybe that's part of the reason I have such an epic Jones for like a Kephart or an Esmec, right? Because of the historical aspect. Maybe it's why I like, axes that have such an old sort of. It's not even that old an approach, right? I mean, axes were completely ground, stem to stern for years and years and years. I don't remember what got me on this, but Ötzi, yeah. So yeah, because of that, like there's like this unbroken line between all that and Ötzi, and why I like the axe so much, and why I like historical. I don't have any, but like how the fact that you can draw that line that I keep banging on about between that first hand axe, the gods only know when it was made, and like more hand axes, and then suddenly there's a wooden handle on one, on a stone axe, but and at that point you're not napping your axes from flint, you're sort of grinding them out in those sort of shapes, and then eventually you get to the copper age, the bronze age, and and then iron and Viking axes, battle axes, this axes, that axes, because for most of the medieval period, if you got called off to war, you went with an axe because it was a whole lot more affordable than a sword. It's just like this beautiful, beautiful thing just goes through evolution after evolution after design, um, like incremental design improvements until finally you go from the straight handle to this shape, you know, and then you stop grinding all this down and you leave it rough. I get emotional about it. I don't get emotional about anything. I'm dead inside of it, but there are four things that really sort of blow through all that. One is my girls. One is any natural setting. One is What's Going On by Marvin Gaye, and the other is specifically this axe right here. But that's because it's a microcosm of the greater. The axe as a tool is it's special. It's special. It's more than the sum of its parts. It's more than we think about it. Anyway. How was I on that? Oh yeah, because I've never napped out an arrowhead. Because I was telling Wood Pigeon that I've never worked with any of that stuff. I've never napped or anything. Anyways, I'm glad to hear that Tyler's okay, because that's man, whew, yikes. Outdoor is napped before, usually on a Sunday afternoon. I should have seen that one coming. You did an Ötzi knife-ish on your channel? I'll check that out. Tyler, is the Jeep a write-off now, though? I imagine it is. Oh, my mom's gone to bed. Jeez, 5 hours. Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey? Really? Drop me an email. Tell me more about it, Zach. Oh, Tyler. Oh, just glad your daughter wasn't with you. Holy crap. Oh, yeah. I understand that completely, man. Dr. Sharp, I think you're absolutely right. I think we've lost so much with sort of the modern lifestyle, the speed, the this, the that, the fact that everything's bloody plastic. This lens is glass there and plastic everywhere else. Could you imagine 50 years ago? Yeah, it's plastic everywhere. Could you imagine 50 years ago trying to sell a plastic lens? Same deal. This one. Plastic, 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 plastic. Plastic everywhere. The hell? And it's funny because I keep saying that, I don't like plastic, and then there's this thing, right? By the way, have you guys seen the new X series? I am jonesing for that F1X like you guys would not believe. I have no idea what they cost. And there's no reason for me to want them because I've got the old school F1, but there's just something, man, it's cool. It's cool. Not pepper. Nope. F&S is your favorite? Flint and steel, yes. Flint and steel is also my favorite. I use a ferro rod a lot, but flint and steel is my magic. Of course, Simone goes for the map gas torch. Here's to you. It's your knife, rambling commenced. You're right, that's not bushcrafty. Small forest axe, grounds for his bricks. I'm not sure where that came from, but my favorite axe. Total loss, okay. Oh, it's an epic exclusive. Forget about it. Not doing it. Not doing it. I'm not doing an epic exclusive. Wow, it's probably an exclusive for like a year, so I'll do it next year. Yeah, Dr. Sharp, I agree with you completely. At one point, we would just talk about this all night, and all night. Yeah, Simon, absolutely. Before like the polymer. Where's LT? I'm wearing his shirt, for God's sakes. Simon, drop him a note. Tell him I'm wearing his shirt so that at least he knows. I thought he'd be happy to see it. Steam in 2020? Okay, I'll check it out then. Yeah, I'm not doing the Epic store. I don't like what they're doing. And they've got a lot of games I really want to enjoy. Let me tell you, but I just One day, outdoor, I will go to Utwine. Utwine. I know that it's a wine. Utwine. I'm trying to remember what you told me. Oh, Nylon 66. I had completely forgotten about that. Oh, the LT's on at work. Okay, that's fine. I'll drink a Lefroy to that. Oh, you want the nylon 66? I don't want to turn this into a gun conversation. Here's what I want. I want a Henry 30-30. Maybe an octagon barrel. I'm not sure. I used to really want the Marlin one, but I hear they're not nearly as good as they used to be. So I could take a Marlin, but the old ones, I like the side eject rather than the top, because I would probably, oh, I hate saying this, but because of my eyes, I would probably want to put a scope on it. The classic system is like, you don't put a scope on a damn lever action, but because I don't trust like myself to not do something wrong, just trying to sight through iron sights, you know. So you want the nylon 66? I want a Henry 30-30. The side gate lever gun, is that the one? I used to look at the Henry catalog a lot. So I think maybe certain things are, it's funny because Noam Chomsky once said, I have no problem with Noam Chomsky. I think he's very brilliant. I think he says a lot of things that make a lot of sense. But he did at one point say that children are born with an innate sense of language. Perfect. Oh, except that wasn't the end of the sentence. And the rest of it was in the area in which they were born or that they're from or whatever. Sort of intimating that, Chinese kids are born with an innate tendency towards Mandarin, or maybe, well, here's the thing: Mandarin in most of China, and then Cantonese in Hong Kong, and in Canton. Because the thing is, I think that we're born with an innate tendency towards something. I've noticed that certain things seem to be universal. Like before the late 30s, the swastika showed up everywhere, and it was a very positive sign. It was a sun wheel. I mean, like from India to Japan to like South America. So in certain ways, symbolism is universal. To me, all that means is that it's been there in some way since we first stepped out of Africa. That's as magical or as aliens are planting us as I get. But the thing is, I find this shit interesting. Swear word retracted. I find this stuff interesting. I'm very into ancient history kind of things, I can't get enough of it. I like to think about it. I like to wonder what the hell is going on or was going on. Part of why I find the Ötzi thing so interesting, Here's this guy on a mountainside. Murdered. Well, not murdered, killed. There was no. If you don't have a legal framework for murder, then there's no such thing as murder. You know what I'm saying? Oh, are the new Marlins good? Okay, that's good to know. Well, that's the thing, Dr. Sharp. I mean, but that doesn't bug me because I went to school in communications, so I had to study Marshall McLuhan, who frankly didn't care if he was wrong or right, so long as he got you talking about it, right? He would shoot out what he called thought bullets. I don't know if I'm getting this right because I've had both, but his whole thing. I mean, aside from the medium is start again. The medium is of yeah, I just did that. The medium is the message is solid. But he's just like, his whole thing was getting us to talk about this stuff, getting us to start percolating on it, you know? So I don't mind if these guys are necessarily wrong about things, because I always throw them a bone and think all they care about is getting us to pay attention. But that innate local language thing for infants, rather than infants are born with an innate tendency towards language, that one really stuck for me. I didn't like that one at all, because that one just seemed deliberately wrong-headed, you know? Yeah, it's true. We've come back to emoji now, right? Yeah, Tyler. Or are we coming down to the end? Henry has better QC, but you'll pay for it. I don't mind paying for it. I'll just save up for an extra 6 months kind of thing. Look, I'm not in the market right now. I've lost my hunting ground. I haven't gone hunting in 3 years. There would be no reason for me to make this purchase. But I still like looking at the Henry website. Yeah, exactly. You know, he was getting conversations going. You know, do I have my bell to ring? I'm hungry. I made a fabulous supper, but then I didn't get to eat it because I had to run out the door to get Camille to karate. Sherardville. Yeah, I wonder what's going on with that. I wonder what he's found. Yeah, Tyler, that's a good point about those canoes. Zach, I'll check that out. The side gate gun. Okay, I'll check it out. I'm not buying this here, but because here's the funny thing: being on parental leave means making 50% of my salary. But hey, we get parental leave. White Castle's for Jesse. We're not talking about White Castle, the burger joint, are we? Because I hear that'll just sort of go through you. We don't have a White Castle up here. Interesting. Oh, Tyler's had White. Oh yeah, but you're in the States, so you've had White Castle before. I'd never even heard of it before. There was a film a few years ago. So and so and so and so go to White Castle. If you're drinking, you will love it. Do they do the sliders? Is that the slider place? Because here, instead of going to like White Castle, you get a poutine. Now that they're selling it in New York, they call it disco fries because you go after the disco, but it's poutine, guys. We created it. Accept the name. Six-hour drive for Bill and Ted? No, it's not Bill and Ted go to White Castle. No. Oh, Christian Goins, did you just show up in time for the end of the live stream? Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. Boom! You come in right at the end, and yet you make it worthwhile. Yes, that's it. Maybe it was. Thank you, Christian Goins. I will check out your channel as soon as I can actually click on a name and see a channel. It's stupid. When you're hosting, you can't check other channels. 2300. Thanks for the warning, guys. Okay, I'm out of here. Thanks to everyone for hanging out for my first post summer vacation live stream. I hope to see you all next Tuesday. if I can avoid live streaming before then, because I'm so glad to be back, man. I missed you guys like you wouldn't believe. But anyways, so that's it for tonight. I'm going to do this so that we don't deafen Zach, and see you soon. Boom. Boom.